Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to a very special edition of the Drummers Education Connection. We're here every Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And we have a terrific guest today, a very good friend. I happened to meet at a NAMM show a few years ago, and we've remained friends since. Welcome, please, Tony McNally from Newcastle in the UK. What's up, Tony?
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, guys. It's great to be here.
So happy to have you. Tony is a terrific drummer. He's got groups in the UK that play quite a bit. He's an educator. He works in schools, and he's also the inventor of this terrific drum accessory and educational tool we're going to talk about today called the ToneAlly. And we've each got one courtesy of Tony. Thank you so much for your generosity in saying that.
Yes, thank you.
And we're going to get deep into the ToneAlly and why it's such a great thing. And I'll tell you my story about when I first discovered it, and I bought like one of his early prototypes and have been using it ever since. My students call it the torture chamber. But before we get into it, let's start with some housekeeping. If you want to support what we do here on the Drummers Education Connection, we have a Patreon page. And if you check that out, you can donate even just $1, $2 here and there. It helps us do what we do. We are going to have a Deck Day event coming up in the spring here in California, in the Bay Area, where we're going to have live clinics and master classes with the four of us, and possibly Jim Royal may be joining us as well. And
Jim,
your support helps us put events like that on as well. So we like to start out our show with a little quick segment we call Good Things, which is a chance for us to just check in with each other and talk about what's going on in our lives that's good. Could be music related, teaching related, or having nothing to do with either of those things. So I'm going to kick it down to Rick Stojak. Rick, apologize.
I always go the wrong way.
For those of you who are new to the show, I'm here with my weekly companions, Bart Robley, Rick Stojak, and Chip Ritter. All amazing drummers, terrific educators, and just great dudes all around. So, Rick, what's going on for you that's good?
Yes. You know what? This baby right here is my good thing because, Tony, I really want to thank you for sending me this ToneAlly. And I've been using it all week, and my students are really digging it, and their technique is getting better. And I just am grateful. I really appreciate it. And that's my good thing because it's helping my students get better. And me too. It's making me look at my technique.
Excellent. Bart, what's happening with you, man?
You know what? I'm going to echo what Rick said. I got two things that are good things. Tony, thank you so much for this. I got a package in the mail the other day from across the pond, and this thing is just absolutely fantastic. I've been using it all week, and I greatly appreciate it. And then also as a shameless self-plug for my online books, my practice books, I want to thank you guys, all the members of the deck, for writing a plug on my or a review of my book, the Musician's Weekly Practice Journal and the Drummer's Weekly Practice Journal. You can go pick those up on Amazon. They're doing very well, and I'm really excited about that. So thank you guys so much for writing a review on them. I really appreciate it. I really do. Chip.
Hey, a couple more people have purchased the Drummer's Guide to Juggling off my website, chipritter.com. I'm excited about that. I'm very grateful. And I've got a ToneAlly. This thing is crazy cool.
What
Check it out, man. You got to get one.
You guys are late to the game. I've had mine for like 4 years now. So for me, my son just had a recording session and 2 concerts at these venues in the Bay Area, and they were huge successes. He did great. He had his audition for Berklee School of Music this weekend. He crushed it.
Nice.
I had a house concert with the Erica Oba Trio this weekend. Was sold out. Great show. One of the best nights we've ever played. And we're going into the studio next weekend to record our first album together. Super excited about that. Tony, how about you? What's happening with you? Got all kinds of things you were talking about before the show. Tell us, spill it, man.
All is fantastic. All is well. My family bring me great happiness. Both my daughters, I was just mentioning before we went out live, are working in TV and have been doing for a couple of years. They're working behind the scenes, behind the cameras as assistant producers. So they're constantly in work doing exciting things, so I'm chucking out celebrations every now and then, proud dad moments, and also for my son as well, who's just become a national MMA champion, which is fantastic. I wanted him to play drums, you know, and he's busy choking everybody out at the moment.
He's still a percussionist. He's just hitting people instead of
Exactly.
But at least he's not choking me out, you know, which is good.
That's awesome.
Well, I want to start this discussion. Tony, we want to ask you all about your music out there, and I know you have a trio that's playing a big show coming up. But first thing is first, we want to get into this amazing device, the ToneAlly. I met Tony at the NAMM show. It might have been 5 years ago or so, and you know, I had had this problem with students for a long time who make kind of an angled stroke at the drum, and they kind of hit it with a swiping motion or a J stroke, and I see students doing it all the time, and it's just really near impossible to get a good sound out of the drum, out of the snare drum like that when you don't make your stroke perpendicular to the drum. And so I would put a book, you know, next to the snare and have them sort of try to parallel the plane of the book, and of course that worked for about 5 seconds. And I came across Tony in this product, and I was like, "What is that thing?" And it was like this cage, and we're going to demonstrate it in a minute. And it turns out Tony was already deep into the same problem with a lot of his students, and had developed this device to help students and drummers learn to play with a perpendicular stroke and get a good tone. And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm hooked." I bought one right off the bat. It was an early model. It wasn't collapsible, so I had to carry it home in my backpack. I was so into it, though, it didn't matter. And I've had it in my studio ever since, and I work with students. But that's my story about how I got connected to Tony and why this thing is so great. But Tony, please give us your story. How did you get started with this device? And tell us about the arc of the story with it.
Well, it literally, it's quite a long tale, as in it's been going on for 30 plus years. In 1990, I was sort of busy trying to make it as a musician here in the UK, and the best way to do that is put yourself in the London scene if you can, which for a northern lad on the other side of the country, it's quite expensive to do. So anyway, I've been spending a lot of money going down to London every now and then, trying to make it as a singer-songwriter and drummer. And what happened is I really got the stuffing knocked out of me, and I thought, I'm just going to take a couple of months out. And my wife actually said, "Have you seen this drumming competition? There's a national drumming competition. Why don't you go in for that or something? Get playing those drums again, you know?" And anyway, so I looked at that competition, and I give myself 2 days to work, and then go in for the regional, heat, as it were, for this drum competition. I've never been that much of a competition guy, you know. But anyway, I'd sort of seen, you know, obviously I was very lucky enough to see Buddy Rich play. I think it was 86 in Newcastle he played, and with his big band, and I looked at that technique, and just the line of stroke, you know, just up and down, like, just beautiful line of stroke. Same as, you know, all you guys, you know, Billy Cobham, Simon Phillips, all you top players, you've got this fantastic line of stroke, which takes years and years to develop, you know. So anyway, I thought I want to try and get something like that. I want to look as if I've got this fantastic line of stroke at the very least. How can I do that? And I thought, right, okay. So I put a couple of sticks, stood them up like that, and I got another stick. I'll just use this pen here, and put it in between a pair of sticks, which I was holding with one hand. And I trained one hand at a time in front of a mirror. And I was just, look at that line, you know, that's what I'm after. Oh, that would be great. Taking the sticks away and then going back, and then working one hand at a time. And then I took a pen and just drew my first draft of what essentially ended up being this. And I thought, after 2 days working like this with one hand at a time, I thought, I'm going to come back to that idea. It's a great idea. And I just always thought that somebody would think of it and bring it out, because to me, I think it's just a great idea. And I still do. I'm in love with it, you know. And anyway, he says, so anyway, it never ever did. And 2015, incidentally, I went on to win that competition. I won first place in the week.
Right on. Yeah.
Then I went on to win first place in the national competition in the UK as well, which was rather good. So I was really pleased at that. And anyway, I 2015, I thought, right, I'm going to apply for a patent. That takes 2 years to come through. So I applied for the patent, and someone said, you must have protection in place. You know, somebody should take that good idea, you know. It's vitally important. And it was great advice. And so you pay your money, wherever it was, I think 3,000, something like that. And you wait your 2 years to see if somebody in Outer Mongolia has thought about your idea. And luckily for me, nobody had, you know. So I was delighted. And as soon as that came through, believe it or not, the week before I launched at the UK Drum Show. Where, incidentally, my first customer was none other than Thomas Lang. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Thomas Lang was my first customer. I was setting up the day before, and Thomas Lang had been, I knew Thomas was doing the show, but he came down these stairs straight into my path, straight into my stand. You know, it was just like the doors opened from heaven, and you walk down looking like a pop star. I mean, looked great. You know, he always is. And I said, Thomas, I've got your DVDs. I'm a big fan. Would you mind giving this a go? It's my little invention. Yeah, sure. And he just put his sticks through, and it was like he was carving it up, you know. He was just hitting it so hard. I mean, there's a restricted height there, you know, and not just him, Derek McKenzie, all the guys, they hit it so hard, or they have the ability to control the sticks and hit them, apply them very hard, even from this low height, you know. That's the first thing that got me, how hard somebody like Thomas Lang was hitting that pad. So anyway, and Thomas took one of those away with him from the show, and he loves it. So I was delighted about that. And so that was it, 2017, got my patent and launched at the UK Drum Show. Then I came to NAMM, and of course, that's where NAMM was before, I beg your pardon. NAMM was in February 2017. Oh, no, right now I'm getting confused now. It was 2018, Jeremy, where I must have met you.
Uh-huh.
It is 5 years ago, you're right. And that was NAMM, was in the February, I think, of 2018.
January. It's usually in January.
January, yeah. That's the one.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got over to NAMM, and whereupon it won Best Tools for Schools, like sort of an award, which was fantastic, really. So that's basically, I met Dom there, Dom Famularo, the great, rest in peace, Dom, my lovely mentor and friend. Actually, I must show you this, because Dom, I was supposed to be going out for a meal with Dom and his lovely wife, Charmaine, because they were due to come over in September to the UK Drum Show in Liverpool. And but sadly, Dom didn't make it. And I had this, the guy who makes ToneAllys for us here in England, in Manchester, Keith Keogh, he also makes, he's CEO of the British Drum Company. They make fine drums, really nice drums. And he done this for me. Made let me see if I can put this camera on here. He made this drum I'd signed
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
ToneAlly. So
Nice.
Keith sort of burned his signature into this one, which was a gift. It's in beech, and this was for Dom, you see. And there's two of his famous sayings that he used to say, obviously onwards and upwards.
Yeah.
And the other one is tension is the enemy of movement, which is a fantastic thing. And to anyone who knows Dom knows that it's very much a philosophy. It's not just about drums, is it? It's about how you live your life, and tension's no good in your life. So if you can apply it to your drums, you can take the message from your practice and just insert that into your life. Just get rid of that tension. That would be a good thing. That's got us up to NAMM in 2018. Jeremy, where do you want me to go now?
So I would like, for those of our listeners who are unfamiliar with this, for you to give us like a very quick demonstration of what the ToneAlly is and why it's good for you and why people should use it.
Yeah, give us a lesson. Give us a lesson.
Please.
Okay. Okay. Well, I have a beginner's lesson on my YouTube channel. And but the first lesson I would say to anybody is just to get used to the restricted space. So if you put the sticks in the inner alleys, that's these two here. This is American hand grip position. As that's here. As invented by none other than, anybody know? Gene Krupa.
Mr. Krupa.
He invented the American hand grip position, the matched hand grip position. Apparently, and this is straight from Dom, he said he was getting interviewed one day, the great Gene Krupa, and the interviewer said, "Hey, Gene, how come when you're playing match grip there?" Sorry, my American accent.
No, it's good.
Actually, your accent is so good. I was hoping that maybe you could. I was just hoping that you could read The Night Before Christmas for us before the end of the show.
Not a problem. You send me the script. We'll knock that together in a half an hour, I'm sure.
Awesome.
So we've got So Gene Krupa was interviewed, and they said, "Hey, Gene, you're playing. Your hands are so much closer than everybody else is playing match grip in Germanic hand grip position, which is like sort of 90 degrees. And that's in the outer alleys here. It's Germanic on here, and these two alleys. So there's a specific hand position for these hand grip positions, as it were. There's a place for everything on here. So there's your Germanic, American hand grip position. He said, "What's that position called, Gene? Everybody else is using Germanic," and he said, "It's called American hand grip position." He just made it up.
Right.
And that was awesome. As drummers do. It never stuck for an answer. If you want an answer, ask a drummer. You'll always come up with something ingenious.
Yeah.
I do. You know what? That's what I always say. I got an answer for everything.
Yeah, because you're a drummer. We're never stuck. Life is never dull for us, is it? There's always a way out. There's always something to say. There's always another route. There's always, we're creative people. So anyway, that's what the great Gene Krupa invented, was the American hand grip position, which incidentally uses 9 muscles. Okay, so you've got your stick in there, and I would just say get used to the space. and just lift the stick right up, hit the top bar, keep your hand down low, and just get used to that space. That's the first thing you need to do. And really, you want to be doing it without any tension whatsoever. So nice and loose. Read a book, look at your phone, do a one-handed text thing for 5 minutes and just get used to that space. Keep your hand down low. If you can use your fingers, use your fingers. And just get used to that space. Rather like, I like to say, do you know when you play a triangle and you get that beater in the corner?
Yeah.
There's an orchestral piece by Respighi, an Italian composer. And there's a piece that he wrote, and it uses triangle at the end of it. And Pains of Rome, I think it's called. I want to play that. And in the corner of the triangle, you're literally going like that, like for ages. But it saves you having to do that. And it's like that. So anyway, that's just imagine you're in the corner of a triangle. And then you can work the speed up a little bit. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Great.
Yes, we are. 100%. 100%.
Great. So there we've got American hand grip position. I'll just go through the other three, if I may. Hand grip. And I know there's more than this. So there's American hand grip position and using our 9 muscles. Let me see if I can do that. Oh, that's all right. So there we go. If we go into the outer alleys, we have the Germanic, which uses, incidentally, 13 muscles. Now, again, dear Dom, thank you so much for teaching me so much and putting me on this path. In the few years I had with him. Lucky to have with him. He gave me all this information. There's a testament to the guy. He knew how many muscles these hand grip positions used. Which is fantastic to me. I found it fascinating. So 13 muscles. If we go to French now, if we're playing on the ride cymbal or the hi-hat, the thumb is generally on the top. All of a sudden, we're playing French hand grip position, which is an orchestral technique. Lifting the sticks quite small, usually playing something fast and orchestral. Whatever. Whatever. So there's your French in the middle. What you do with that is you rest the sticks against the inside posts and initially, and then you work your way from the posts so that you're actually parallel and off the posts and independently.
Interesting.
Operating the sticks. So I could have put another 2 posts in, thought of that, no problem. You could go on forever with posts right round the drum if you want, but I think this is it. I think that there's no perfect design. This is, a lot of thoughts gone into. I've tried to think of everything. So there we have French, 6 muscles. We have American, 9 muscles. We have Germanic, 13 muscles. You may ask about traditional hand grip position. Any guesses for how many muscles?
17.
17. Interesting.
15.
7.
Oh, interesting. 4. Can you believe that? 4. Yeah, I went the other way. I thought it was going to be more muscles as well. So whoever said 17, 15, I was thinking that it's got to be more, but no, 4. for.
Hey,
So
Tony, I got to interrupt you because this is an important question, and we need to let everybody know. Someone's asking, where I'm intrigued. Where do I purchase this? It'd be great to incorporate into their teaching. How do you acquire a ToneAlly?
Well, I'm shipping these to the USA all the time. It's the apart from the UK, it's my most popular destination is sending to the US, and third is Canada, and closely followed by Australia. We're now in 36 countries. Can you believe?
Wow,
36.
That's
countries.
outstanding.
ToneAlly.co.uk. We've got it. I'll post it in the chat.
Oops.
Nice.
Hang on.
ToneAlly.co.uk. Thanks for asking as well, because it's a really good thing to ask. It gives me a chance to plug it too as well. The more people that get these in their hands, the more students will get this in their hands. And it's not. I'm not for sort of rapid learning just for have a little dip your toe in. This actually has helped me a great deal, and I still I'm using this every day. And Dom and I would do masterclasses online quite regularly for the past couple of years, and certainly through the pandemic we were doing a lot of that. And if you do 10 minutes, 20 minutes on the pad and then go to the kit, that's perfect. You don't have to spend half a day working on this, just whatever you're going to be working on, give it a try. I mean, I've been trying, I posted something up, blushters. Now, I'll practice whatever it is. I'll practice it on here first, and then I'll take it to the kit, and all of a sudden, I'm feeling the weight of the stick just beautifully, Once when it's starting to sit right and feel comfortable on this, when you've got it right on the ToneAlly, then take it to the kit. Oh, it just feels great. You feel in the flow. So yeah, it's a device to help you to play without tension, and it trains all of the muscle groups in all hand grip positions. Oh, wow, that's a bit of a tall order to say, isn't it? But I'll stick my neck out because I believe it does. I mean, somebody mentioned molar, and half molar, you can do this side.
Yeah.
Let's take this away. And yeah. So we've got half molar there. If you want full molar, just turn the thing around, knock yourself out, lift the sticks as high as you want. It's not rocket engineering. So also, if we turn the ToneAlly around, though, all of a sudden, we've got this. That could be your hi-hat. There's your snare drum. There's your ride cymbal.
Right.
You know what I mean? You've got the full kit. If you're open-handed, there you go. If you want to practice your toms, these can be toms. I used to practice on cushions.
Yeah. Right.
So this would have been just absolutely fantastic for me if I had it when I was a kid. So that's that. There's one more thing. If you get the top of the range one, I'm pretty sure that you guys have got those.
Yes.
Yep. This centerpiece comes away to reveal this, and then you can practice directly onto the drum head or any surface underneath. If you want to get used to practicing something on metal, you want to practice working on metal, then put something on put this on a metal desk or something, and you can feel the texture of what it feels like playing metal things, or whatever, wood, brick, feel the different textures, whatever you put this on.
That's ingenious.
Thank you.
I have a couple of things I want to throw out there, Tony. First of all,
Yes.
the practice pad, the small practice pad, I love. It reminds me of we had the opportunity to have David Garibaldi on the show, and I don't know if you
Oh,
saw the
brilliant.
video that I made when you first shipped this to me, talking about it. But he talked about how his drum teacher used to make his own practice pad, and it was real small, and when he would practice he had real tight groupings, and he noticed as he got better that the coating on his heads were wearing out, you know, in little small areas, and his cymbals were sounding really good because of his precision. And I think that's what this pad does. It's so small, it's a small aiming point, and so I think just the pad itself is fantastic. I love the feel of the pad. I have it turned around backwards right now, but
Yay.
I love the feel of the pad. It's great.
Oh,
Um,
thank you. Yeah.
my question, I think, is the way that it's built. It's obviously really machined very well. I'm kind of a gearhead and a geek. I mean, is it cut on a lathe? Is it laser cut? How is this put together? It's a fantastic piece of equipment, very well built. I really believe in the product a lot.
Oh, thank you very much, Bart, and thank you for posting that out. And I did see that with David Garibaldi as well. That was fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah, it is laser cut,
It
but
is. Okay.
it's laser cut with absolutely high end machinery,
Right.
but it is hand finished.
Hmm.
And this centerpiece, the centerpiece that comes out of this top end, the
This
deluxe
part.
version, yeah,
Yeah.
that is hand fitted. So that's why each of those will fit so nicely. You'll be able to stand it upside down like that, and it'll just not go anywhere. No magnets, no Velcro, nothing needed there other than just superb workmanship, really. I mean, it's made in the UK, it's made in England, Manchester, by Keith Keogh, who headed up Premier Drums for 20 years, actually.
Oh, wow. No kidding.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Before launching British Drum Company, I think in 2016, the year before ToneAlly launched, 2017. That's right.
Okay.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
The base of it is a neoprene rubber, which is a non-slip thing, and it makes a soft touch on your surface. And the dowels, the rails are made of wood. But what is the base and the top made of?
Now that's made of a high density material. It's not just a color black. It's literally black all the way through. If you were to mind, it's very, very durable. You could hit that with a hammer and not dent it. It's that hard.
It's HDF, not MDF.
It is. It's a
Wow,
high
that's
density.
amazing.
Yeah, and it's that color all the way through. It's incredibly hard wearing, and of course those materials have just gone through the roof. So well, on the odd occasion where someone said, "Hey, this is expensive," I go, "Hang on a second, the prices start at $49.99, and that's this." Well, that's sorry. Great British pound, as it were. So obviously you'd have to put that into dollars, wherever it is, $75 or something, maybe $70. But that's the MDF version, which was, I guess, now the version that you got, Jeremy, I think would have been the lacquered version.
Yeah.
So that had 4 layers of lacquer on. We don't do that anymore. That was just way too expensive. It was, the prices were doubling and tripling all the time. But we've got an option there. You get the same thing apart from the removable section that you get in the Deluxe 5 version. That's the top of the range one, the top dog. But the same design exactly with this one for 50 quid. So I think for the cost of the one good lesson with a good teacher, you're going to get something that will really add value to your practice time.
Absolutely.
Great point.
Yeah.
Great point.
What's the cost of the one that you're using that has the pad that removes in the center?
This is the top of the range one. This is 124. It's 125 quid, so it's around about $170 or something. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
For 125 quid, but again, as I say, you've I mean, I don't want to have to justify the cost, but it's actually
157.
hand fitted. That last bit is hand fitted. This the removable section.
Well,
It's,
the way
which is
fantastic. The way I see it is this is it's a product that's an investment in your tech.
Yeah.
As students, you're spending lots of money on drum lessons, as you should. You're spending lots of money on your equipment, as you should. And this is an investment in your long-term technique. And I can tell you firsthand, having worked, used this thing with my own students, it's a really, really, really useful and valuable tool. It is. I've sent it home with students, and like as punishment's not the right word.
It's funny. Somebody said, isn't it? It's like a prison.
That's what they say. That's what they call it. They call it the drumstick prison.
But I tend to flip that on its head and say that this is the kind of practice place that sets you free, baby. Once your technique. The better your technique, the more you can get your creative ideas out there, the more you can be in that wonderful place where we want to be in the flow. And just really, when we know, we feel like we're in the womb again.
To finish my point, I was going to say that the students that I have I've worked with this tool, using this tool during their lessons and during their practicing, have across the board made it's transformed their technique, quite honestly.
Oh, fantastic. That's great feedback there, Jeremy.
Honestly,
an awful lot from me, a lot to me. And I'm very, very proud of the fact that I have, after 6 years in business, I still have 100% customer satisfaction rate.
That's great.
I'm there. People just have to, I think sometimes it takes them by surprise that thanks for responding so quickly. But if I see something and it's to do with my invention, my business, like you are, Bart, with your books and everything, and Jeremy, I know that you're educators, so we take it it's very important to us, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's part of who you are. I mean, it's an extension of yourself, I think,
Yeah, but Bart, it's a great way of putting it.
So I love, Tony, that for everyone who's had an idea, for every 10,000 people who have the idea, maybe one does something about it, right?
Yeah.
And you decided, I know this was no small investment for you when you first started out. And kudos to you for developing it and sticking with it and in continuing to improve it over the years, from the original ones. And it's just a great thing for drummers and for the drumming community that you put into the world.
Thank you.
In our message that you and I shared, Tony, I had said that I would make a video for you when I first got it, and I did. And I do plan on taking this out on tour with me, because what I in the instructions it says if you want to, you can glue it together if you want, or you can leave it collapsible and take it apart. I'm going to take this apart, put it in my bag. And this is going to be like my road practice pad, in my hotel room and stuff. And I can make videos with it. I can also teach on it. I mean, this is a fantastic tool. And you'll definitely be seeing videos from me in hotel rooms, frustrating myself with the thing. I mean, this is a great tool, and I really do. I thank you for it. This is very nice. Thank you so much.
Rob, don't wear your robe next time.
What's that? What'd you say, Rick?
robe next time while you're making those videos in the hotel room.
Don't wear a robe.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see that, dude. Nobody wants to watch a Sasquatch play the drums. I promise you.
Hey, Tony, I've got a question for you about using the ToneAlly. Is it so? I would say there's maybe between the rails. I don't know. You would know the answer. Is it 3/4 of an inch between them?
18 mil. 18 mil.
Okay, 18
millimeter.
Obviously, depending on what sticks you use, they'll fit in there a little more snugly if you've got a big fat pair of 2Bs, or a little more narrowly.
Absolutely. I mean, most marching drumsticks will get in there. The overwhelming majority of sticks will go in there.
Sure.
I mean, people don't really want to use sticks more than that.
No, I assumed you did your research on that end. So when you first start using it, I had this experience where I was very noisy with it, right?
Yeah.
My sticks moving side to side quite a bit, and it made me aware of how much action there was in that regard. And then
almost start a fire.
What's that?
Almost started a fire.
I was a big quote here, actually. Hang on. Any sparks, guys?
Yeah. You can also but you can take it camping with you. And you can use it to start a fire.
Yeah. You need four twigs.
Right.
4 twigs. You've got your chair. Right. There you go.
So is the idea for students who are practicing with it to get less noisy as they get better at it?
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, it's a myth to think that you're not going to touch the sides,
right?
And and I have seen miracles with this thing, and I do see miracles with it with young players who come to me, and the first half an hour of lessons are going like that, and then after 5 minutes, actually, it takes no longer than that to get them to do that first exercise. Just lift the stick up and touch the top and keep your hand down low. I don't have to spend hours talking about the hand grip. I just go lift the tip of the stick with your hand through there. I know that they're working on 9 muscles in this one, so that's okay. It's not as hard as 13 muscles, and maybe the fewer the muscles, the easier to control.
Right.
I don't know. You can work that out yourself, guys. You can be the judges on that one. I think time will tell how many. Give it a couple of years of research, and we'll find out more things about this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a myth to think that you can play this and work on it without touching the sides. And the wonderful godmother of drums that we have, Dorothea Taylor. She's wonderful, and she's posted some things last Christmas and this Christmas already with the ToneAlly, which is fantastic. All of a sudden the sales in the US go great when Dorothea puts something on there. So it's fantastic. So she's my fairy godmother of drums, I call her, and she sent me a message and said, am I making too much noise with these things? Should I not be touching these sides? And I said, Dorothy, it's the same for everybody. It's impossible not to touch the sides. You've got a better chance if you use really thin sticks, but it's not the point. Touching the sides.
Tony, I have a question for you. Yeah. And as we know, many drummers have 2 volumes, loud and louder.
Yep.
What I feel that is ingenious is these little rubber contraptions.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Rick. I'm glad you haven't left those out, because they're very important part of this tool. Should I talk about them, Rick?
Could you
yes, please do.
You can work on height.
Yeah,
height of
so,
volume.
So like American drum corps can work on, they'll work on different specific heights. I'll just turn this round here. There's a stadiometer on each, on 2 posts, one on either side. So the stadiometer, I'm sure you've all used a stadiometer.
Yes.
Jeremy, you've probably used one on your son at some point. It measures stages of growth. When your son or a daughter, and you put a little mark above the head on the doorway or on the wall to say that's 7-year-olds.
Sure.
7-year-olds, you're that height.
Right.
That's the stadiometer. So I was looking. Nothing has been like sort of that'll do with this invention at all. I've sort of agonized at times on what the next step. So this was it wasn't just going to be called a measuring device or a ruler. It's a stadiometer. I particularly like the name stadiometer because it measures stages of growth, and I'm sort of kind of that's what this is doing. It's measuring stages of growth. And I think one of the toughest areas to work on for me is controlling those small notes. And I know I had this conversation with Dom several times, and I know he was of similar thinking, and I know from his wonderful books, and I must just give a shout out to this one. It's still my favorite all-time book. It's Your Move. It's just a wonderful book. I even like the chessboard on the front cover, because it's like, it's your move. What are you doing with your career? What are you doing with your drumming? What are you doing with your technique? What are you doing with your, your creativity and your, it's just says it all in the title. It's your move. It's down to us. And anyway, so I think, the point being, is the smaller notes. If you can control the smaller notes, really those bigger notes will look after themselves. Yeah, it's great to be working on your molar, but those small notes, that really takes some control to really control those. Smaller notes. That's the biggest challenge for me. Benny Greb was a perfect example. Benny Greb, he was headlining the UK drum show a couple of years ago, and absolutely fantastic player. I mean, come on, and great clinician. And he tried the ToneAlly after I twisted his arm for ages. He walked past. I think he thought I was hounding him, and I was. I wondered. Nobody can get past me if I've got the ToneAlly stands at a show. Nobody can get past me without, having to either run away, I'll grab you. I'll drag you and give you the sticks, put them in your hands, say, try it. So anyway, I've done that to Benny Greb. And do you know what? When he eventually came and tried it, he spent at least 15 minutes, 15 minutes on these wiggle bars, they're called, for your height of rise. And he set it on 6 inches, and he just stayed in this middle area here and was just playing. He was using them as a marker, but playing in this area here, resting against the insides, like for the French, as I say, for for French position, and just resting against those posts and just doing like flam triplets and flams, and just was, oh yeah, this is great, wow, just stayed in that area. I don't know why, but it's just, but I certainly spent a good 20 minutes in that same specific area after him, and I guess it's just like quite liberating not to have to control the direction of the sticks,
Mm.
you know, and work on something like flams.
It's almost like a meditation.
It is. Like, Chip, you're absolutely right. I find that you know, it's drums have always been therapy to me anyway, and music. But you know, this sort of does help you. Certainly helps me.
It's
Even
nice.
now,
I mean, it's helping you develop
Relax.
tech because, you know, most drummers, when they, many, especially students, you know, they got one, who was it said they had one speed, one loud and louder, Rick said, yeah.
Right.
You know,
yes,
students tend to play, tend to play heavy handed until they develop enough technique. And this is a shortcut. It's a fast track to forcing them to be able to play with a lighter touch. You know,
yeah, different gradations of, and I think they get the key, don't they? Do they not? Just by looking at the thing, then they think like, hang on a second, you know, the angle's more acute, so therefore the volume will be greater. You know what I mean? I think they make that connection.
right.
Or there's a better chance of them making the connection that the higher the stick, the more the volume. You know, apart from when you know, well, it's so there's one other thing about these wiggle bars, Rick, and that is that you can use them for your rim shots. So if you put them at the bottom.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And if I take something like if I take a rim roll, if I take a rim roll, and I used to find rim rolls, and well, still do if I was to practice them long enough, I'd start to end up tensing up a little bit, you know, and playing against the metal, you know, I tend to stiffen up a bit, but there's something curious about playing and practicing on the rubber.
Yeah.
So this is neoprene rubber, and literally, I've got no tension at all, and I can practice that. I can read a book now and not flinch.
Yeah.
You know, I'm on rubber, but this, you know, metal. Well, actually, having practiced on the rubber, when you take it to the metal rim now, all of a sudden, it's just the same. There's no tension. But if I'm just on there, that's all I've ever had.
Yeah.
You know, I think basically what I'm saying is give this a little try for yourself.
Guys, listen,
You know,
if you're a teacher, you got to get one. You got to get one for your studio. It's as far as I'm concerned, it's a must-have device. To help you with your education. It's going to help your students tremendously, and then hopefully they'll be turned on enough to it that they'll realize the value of it and get one for themselves for practicing at home.
Yeah. And honestly, with Christmas coming up, I mean, I mean, you know, great Christmas gift.
Yeah.
Fantastic Christmas
Tony,
gift. We
will be sure to mention it. We have our holiday show coming up. We call it Deck the Halls. I think it's the 19th we're doing it. And
yes,
and all the things we like for holiday gifts, and this will be certainly at the top of our list of things to recommend.
Oh, fantastic!
Excellent.
Yeah.
Tony, we only have just a couple minutes left. Did you want tell us a little bit else? What else have you got going on artistically? What you've got a big gig coming up?
Well, I've got I've formed the ToneAlly trio. I've got a guy called Jimmy Savage on guitar, who's a fantastic player here in the north. I mean, we've got a great pool of talent in the northeast of England, and we always have had, you know, Mark Knopfler, Sting, Brian Ferry, you know, Dave Stewart. The list goes on. That's just the blokes. You know, there's a whole wealth of now. So Jimmy comes from that line. He's absolutely brilliant. He's endorsed by various guitar manufacturers and amplifiers and all sorts. He's the whole package. He's brilliant. So he's going to be playing guitar. I've got Dion Krishnan on bass guitar, who played bass with the great Dionne Warwick. Among many more, but he's absolutely brilliant. South African bass player. He's the closest thing Anthony Jackson will have here in the northeast of England. He's absolutely monster. So it's I'm playing with fantastic musicians, and as you know, if you're playing with great players, it's just it's just fantastic, and it raises your game. It gives you more freedom. It gives you more challenge. It's just great. So I'm planning some dates for next year. I've planned the first one already. So we're starting in April, on April the 20th, at the Customs House Theatre in South Shields, which is about 7 miles from my house. And apart from that, I'm still working with the Wildcats of Kilkenny. So we've got the Christmas shows coming up. We do a 3-night residency at a theatre in Stockton called the Stockton Ark, and it's just like the biggest. In three nights of the Wildcats of Kilkenny. It's almost like Pogues, it's like sort of folk. It's folk rock. It's a great uplifting time, and you get hit with snow cannons and all sorts like that. So you come out at the end of the night and you feel like you've been through a blizzard. You look like you've been through a blizzard, and you're probably you've probably got a couple of pints of beer spilled all over you because they go mental. But it's a great. It's a great affair. The Wildcats of Kilkenny. If you're ever in the northeast of England, come and check them out. The great. So I've worked with that band for 30 years. Would you believe? So I've got that. I've got some shows with my brother. We go out as the McNallys. I was in the family show group as a kid. I learned to play on my mum's drum kit, actually. And so we do some gigs, my brother and I. So we've got one on the 22nd of December, and we've got a couple of dates throughout next year too. So I'm almost forgetting the fact that I'm recording my 4th album as well. So I've recorded 3 albums which are available on Bandcamp. Tony McNally Bandcamp. If anybody's interested, you can listen free there several times. You don't have to buy anything, but if you do, you're of course supporting a live musician. Thank you very much. So they are. If you've still got your CD players, which I still have mine, and my record player, even a cassette player, then by all means, if you like what you hear, buy the CD as well and give us some support. So yeah, I'm recording and working on my 4th album, which is called Mysterious.
Very cool. That's awesome. Good for you, Tony.
Lots of
thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, Tony, I know the NAMM show is. Sounds like you're not coming this year, and I know a lot of the drum companies aren't going. Do you have any plans to attend PASIC in the future?
I'd love to do PASIC. I really would. And that's next year, Jeremy. I would really like to be there next year.
Yeah, we're going to be there as well. Maybe we'll get to see.
Oh, that would be wonderful. That would be wonderful. I've been recording some bagpipes as well. If this plays, I don't know. I could give you some bagpipe music, which has been played with my very own hands. That's if it will work on this. We'll just check it. Did you get that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I can play that. You give us the way, Jeremy, and I'll play out with some.
Go for it, man. Listen, Tony, thank you for coming on and being our guest.
Tony, thank you so much. Hey, after we get off the air, hang out for a second, Tony. I've got a question for you off air.
We've definitely got a parting question for you. Go ahead, Bart.
Oh yeah, Chip, go.
Tony, where's the best place to get pizza in England?
England and all of England.
That's a very, very good question. I was almost going to say Domino's.
Oh no! Come on!
I think if you want a good pizza, you've got to go to some authentic Italian restaurant here. That's like anywhere else. If there's an Italian in there, they'll be making you a nice pizza. Now, I'm going to be having a nice pizza on Wednesday. When I get to Italy. I'm heading over to Italy till Wednesday next week. And
excellent.
Plenty of lovely pizza. So as long as it's Italian, you're going to get a really good pizza.
Right on.
Awesome.
Let's
hear it. Let's hear it.
I'm going to name these. I've recorded them earlier. Okay.
Okay.
See you later.
Bye, Tony.
We love you.
Cheers.
Bye, guys.